And you'll see that Diaz is 12 years younger than his veteran Mongolian opponent. Diaz giving up 1 inch in height, 1 inch in arm length, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. And tonight, they weigh 150 for Lavka Sim and 142 for Diaz after yesterday having weighed in at or just below the lightweight limit. Should be a tremendously exciting fight. Both guys are hard, straight-ahead chargers who will try to land as many punches as possible. Harold Letterman, the rules of the bout.
Okay, Jim. The Lavka Sim Juan Diaz fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
And here comes Diaz. For much of his career, he has been the lesser known of the Houston products. Rocky Juarez, of course, had by far the more spectacular amateur career. Diaz, at age 16, had a chance to be included on the Mexican Olympic team that went to Sydney, but ultimately it was ruled that he was too young.
But as an example, Jim, of this young man's ambition, he started as a pro at 16 years old as a welterweight and fought a number of fights as a welterweight. But he saw that his future would be at a lower weight division. He disciplined himself, and here he is with a chance to move in to the big money and the high rankings.
The top 2 lightweights in the world, in the eyes of Ring Magazine, are the Mexican star Jose Luis Castillo and Brazil's Acelino Freitas. But Sim, as we told you, holds a title belt, and Ring Magazine ranks young Juan Diaz just behind Sim. So here's a closer look at Juan Diaz.
Juan Diaz did not go to his senior prom because he had a prize fight on that night. He entered law school, the University of Houston, where he is in pre-law. He had a 3.8 average as a high school student. Now, just to fill in the time between law school and boxing, he is going to a carpenter school because he feels that maybe someday he'll build his own home.
I just don't think he has enough to do.
He hasn't got the hang yet of putting together an entourage, hanging out in pubs, beating people up. All he does is go to school. What kind of fighter can he be?
Here, Larry, comes arguably famous Mongolian since Genghis Khan.
Well, he's the only professional fighter in Mongolia. They have had a number of fighters in the Olympics. He's the only one who ever turned pro. Most of his fights have been fought elsewhere in Asia. And if you want to know about his style, if you've seen some of those all-out Korean fighters, that's what he does. He comes forward and then comes forward again.
He says he's almost never fought before a crowd or even a fan who rooted for him. 3 losses on his record, all of them decisions, 2 in Korea against Korean fighters, 1 in Thailand against a Thai fighter. And as you might suspect, he says to us, I've never lost a fight.
All split decisions, by the way.
Closer look now at Lavka Sim with Larry Merchant.
Lavka Sim married a literature professor. They have 3 children. He says that in his blood is the bravery and the strength and the tradition of Genghis Khan, the notorious world dominator of the 13th century. He himself, the way he fights, is a one-man Mongolian horde.
All right, so let's see if he can plow under Juan Diaz and his entire city of Houston as we go up to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Main Events presents 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. Brought to you in association with Goose and Tudor Promotions, sponsored by Miller Lite and sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. Chairman Leo Vasquez, Executive Director William Kunz. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be Dwayne Ford, Ray Hawkins, and Marcos Torres. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Lawrence Cole. And now, for the thousands in attendance here in Houston, Texas, and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing light blue trimmed with dark blue and officially weighing in at 134 3/4 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one, consisting of 24 bouts, 24 victories, including 12 knockouts. Here is the challenger from Houston, Texas, the undefeated Juan, the baby bull Diaz. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trimmed with blue. His official weight, 135 pounds. His professional record stands at 19 victories, including 16 knockouts, with only 3 defeats and 1 bout even. From Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, presenting the reigning, defending WBA lightweight champion of the world, Lavka Sim.
Just touch him up. Come on, Lavka. Just touch him up. Good luck. Ajin.
This is a man, Sim, with man strength, fighting a boy who is not a big knockout puncher, stopped just half of his 24 victims. Can he make up with energy and volume and courage what he lacks in power against a very tough opponent?
Lavka Sim sparred in Los Angeles in preparation for this fight with Australian veteran Robbie Peden and with Diego Corrales. That means he sparred in a different league than anywhere Juan Diaz has ever been.
Yeah, but Diaz is fighting in his hometown. That neutralizes a lot of those other handicaps.
And Sim almost came in for the first round without his mouth guard.
Right. And also Diaz, as I said with the previous fights, he's been a busy kid. I usually go along with the fighters who've been the most active.
Despite a hit-and-be-hit style, though, Emmanuel, Juan Diaz has only scored knockouts in half his fights. Does that mean he's underpowered?
Well, I think he's underpowered, and I was talking to Ronnie Shields, his trainer, and they expected to win the fight by just throwing a lot of punches for the most part. And that can be very difficult when you got a guy like this, Lavka Sim, who's a physical guy who covers up, walks you down, has a good chin. It means the young guy's going to have to work awful hard overtime all night long.
For the most part early, Sim is content to let Diaz do the punching while he does the blocking and looking.
Yeah, and he's walking sadly though.
Diaz wants to throw 80 to 100 punches per round, firing to the body and the head. He's particularly proud of his body attack, which he thinks breaks down opponents.
Well, I don't think his body attack may be that effective now. I think what he's doing right now is what he should do. Working his jab, which seems to work very good effectively between Sim's gloves. And hopefully try to bust up his face some. If he can take a good punch, at least try to bust the skin up more. And that's what he's got to watch, that short right hand that Sim shoots when he gets close to him.
They trade body shots. Diaz is able to throw more punches. He lands 2 big ones upstairs. Diaz doing a good job keeping his guard up early. Sim looks at that and says, I'll go to your body. Good counter left hook by Diaz. One to the body and now one upstairs. And he lands his jab.
He should stick to that jab.
Good footwork by Diaz. Lands punches and moves to the side.
This is the way he should continue to fight. Combinations in and out, moving around, working a lot of jabs, changing directions up, and not trying to be physical and get a knockout right away. And always watching out for Sim's short right hand.
He's continually beating Sim to the...
Well, I think Sim didn't expect that.
Upstairs by Diaz. Love the way he throws the left hook off the jab. Sim landed a little uppercut inside. Diaz punished him to the body with the left hook and gets him twice more before the round closes.
Good round. Short, active punching, not one clinch in the entire round.
In Lavka Sim's corner, our interpreter is Basan Rapcha.
So you don't have to worry. Just you have to be relaxed, and everything is going fine. So just be relaxed. Don't be in a hurry. Nothing is wrong. So try to punch from the downside. Just always look at him. Just be patient. Don't be in a hurry. So that is the most important thing for you now.
Give me the combination, but then step around. Okay? All right? Everything is good now, baby, okay? Get left hand up. Look, don't let this guy push you fast. Take your time.
Ronnie Shields giving the combinations, but step around. In other words, when you land, don't be there for the return.
I think it was great instructions from Ronnie.
You see how Diaz pops the jab and immediately moves to his left. When he stands long enough to fire a 2 or 3 punch combination, he's got to make them count. Sim trying to counter with the right hand every time Diaz stands still.
Sim saw what Diaz was bringing in the first round, and he's stepped it up a little bit right here.
Yes, he has. Punching very hard and very active.
Obviously deciding he's going to fight at a faster pace to match what Diaz showed in round 1.
If Diaz keeps boxing, jabbing, and changing directions, he's got a good chance. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare for him going down the stretch.
2 solid left hooks by Diaz. Lavka Sim finally lands a left hook in return. Body shot by Diaz. Straight right hand lands for Juan Diaz. Sim blocked the left hook this time, becoming more and more conscious of Diaz's left hand. So Diaz goes down to the body and comes back upstairs. Now Sim landing his own left hook inside, but Diaz fires back 3 times. The body shots are tremendously effective. Uppercut stunned Lavka Sim, and Diaz was able to land a straight right hand across the top. Crowd which chanted Rocky, Rocky, Rocky in the preceding fight for Juarez, chanting Diaz, Diaz, Diaz for the baby bull.
I've been very impressed with Diaz. He looks very good. Sharp, accurate punches. Fights like a veteran fighter. And takes a pretty good punch, too.
Right hand inside by Sim. That was not Sim's fastball. That was. And Diaz comes back with a 3-punch combination. Again, the left hook to the body and a perfect straight right hand upstairs. Good, clean shots by Juan Diaz, blocking Sim's right with his left hand.
Lavka Sim is a hard man from a hard country. He has taken some fierce, fierce punishment in this fight.
Yes, he has.
The last 20 seconds of the round, Sim seemed to say, all right, you're fighting at that pace, I'll step up and fight you toe-to-toe.
I got straight bucket right here, okay? Now listen. Hey, very good rounds, okay? Look up. Tonight is your night, baby. If you keep boxing like that, okay? This is your fight, baby. Look, the guy too slow for you. Keep using the hand speed on it, but look, just keep walking around and do not back away from this man, okay? You got to keep turning. Don't stay there too long, okay? I understand. Don't let it put that pressure on you like that, okay? Just relax. You're trying to lure you to a fight early, okay?
All right.
Now listen. Score points with the jab. Bring the jab down a little bit. Sometimes you jab a little bit too high.
These kinds of combinations and flurries with Diaz ending with big clean punches like this.
Go, coaches.
So far, for 2 rounds, he's stealing the show.
He looks
but there could be 10 hard rounds ahead of him.
It's a tremendously energetic style. It will take enormous stamina for Diaz to keep that up and fight at that pace for 12 rounds.
Yeah, again, he's still a young man that's against a young, strong, matured man.
Sim countered the left hook with the right uppercut. Diaz continues to focus on the body. More and more, though, Juan is beginning to stand still, and that may give Sim some chance to land counter shots.
As hard as Diaz can land a punch, Lavka Sim just keeps walking. It's like pouring water on a stone.
Some people expected this to be an all-out brawl. Ronnie Shields and Juan Diaz said, no, we're going to box. So far, they've been able to do it. Double jab from Diaz. Continuing to use his feet. You heard Ronnie Shields say, don't be in front of this man. Keep walking around him. And Diaz with tremendous work to the body there, both hands. And that left hook to the body is being thrown with tremendous conviction. Straight, short right hands from Sim in return. Diaz knocking Sim off balance with the jab there. Difference in hand speed works in Diaz's favor.
He's working very good. And one thing I like, he's keeping that left hand up high because as Sims gets close, he has that short, chopping right hand that is extremely dangerous. But Diaz seems to keep his hand up and looking for that punch to come. And he's not boxing. He's willing to stand toe-to-toe with Sims. Evidently, he thinks that he can punch a little bit harder than we think he can.
Well, I wonder if Sim has ever gone up against such a strong body attack as he's receiving now.
No, I don't think he's been with this type of a spirited young fighter, neither himself. So this is something new for him. You know, it's interesting. Sim fought a 12-round fight in his 3rd professional fight.
They don't baby you in Asia.
He fought a 4-rounder and he skipped virtually from a 4-rounder to a 12-rounder almost. With one fight in between.
Different education system. These two guys are trading blistering body shots in this round.
These are dangerous punches. And you notice the referee, Cole, has not had to do anything in terms of breaking up these fights.
Well, and what a relief that is.
Yeah.
Between Rocky Juarez and Zaire Rahim.
Yeah, you forget that Lawrence Cole is even working the fight.
Good. Much better. Locked on.
There's the familiar face of Joe Goosen.
Yeah, it's an interesting corner with Sim. You got Joe Goosen, who we know. Also, over there is John Arthur, who's quietly been the assistant to top fighters from Goosen Gym. He's been with Michael Nunn, Carlos Palomino, and with James Toney, and that's a job itself. Not so much working the corner, but being with him every day, which is what James Arthur does. John Arthur.
He's getting paid.
Yeah. Joe Goosen is the brother of Dan Goosen, the promoter who promotes Lavka Sim, and that's why you saw him in that position suddenly move in. So obviously the Goosens are very concerned.
Well, and the Goosens picked up the promotional rights to Lavka Sim after Joe Goosen told Dan Goosen, his brother, the promoter, that he would not put his 130-pound star Joel Casamayor in against this particular Mongolian fighter. Harold, how do you have it scored through 3?
Okay, Jim. 3-0, 30-27, Juan Diaz. Jim, you just can't beat that hand speed. I mean, this kid's got incredible poise, tremendous hand speed. He doubles and triples everything. I mean, he's just winning the fight on hand speed and great combinations.
And he does not seem to be getting tired neither, which is interesting.
Well, when you're 20 years old, maybe you don't get that tired.
No, and he's been fighting regularly. That's the one thing I like, the activity level.
But it's still early in the fight.
He's starting to feel combinations from Sim, who was largely one punch at a time in the earlier going. Seems to be getting his game together.
Yeah,
but still taking a lot of leather from Diaz.
Yeah, but Sims is landing some good punches this round here, particularly with a short right hand.
Perfect right hand uppercut for Diaz. Now he throws the uppercut with the left hand. Blocks the left hook from Sim and lands his own left hook cleanly. Another great combination. Diaz left hook to the body, right cross upstairs. Now Sim lands his right cross. Diaz comes right back to the ribcage. Uppercut from Diaz and another left hook. Sim lands his own uppercut. And the left hook inside. This is great stuff.
This is every one of these punches are power punches. And at this stage here, the referee has not, to my memory, had to step in one time to separate them from a clinch.
You don't see better rounds than this.
These are power punches, and they're accurate punches, not slaps.
Well, I thought we might have 12 candidates for round of the year. We have at least one right now.
This is remarkable. If this doesn't tire Juan Diaz out, nothing will.
No.
Stop! 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 Move it up. Move it low. All right? Box!
Lavka Sim steps in as if to say, you're going to hit me to the body, I'll show you what a body shot is.
Blackman must feel a little bit of a weakness for a split second there. In fact, I think that clinch was precipitated primarily by Diaz.
Sim has made a mark on Diaz's body with that right hand. And now Diaz, for the first time in the fight, is standing toe-to-toe without ever moving away after punching. And Ronnie Shields, I have a hunch, is going to mention it to him between rounds.
Yeah, and you better watch that short right hand, Jim.
Diaz went a little uppercut crazy there for a minute.
That's the right hand that he better watch for.
Sim has started landing his own uppercut. This round has gone 3 minutes and 20 seconds, incidentally. So one of the reasons that so much punishment is being meted out is that it appears the clock is taking a strange turn. According to our timing, they fought for 3 minutes and 40 seconds in that round.
Come on, give me a deep one.
Perhaps we're at a difference with the official timer.
Here's what I need from you now. I need you to go to the jab for me, okay? Give me a deep breath, baby. Give me a deep breath. Look, listen to me. You got to keep doing what you're doing at first when you're on the inside. But look, I want you to take a round off with the jab, okay? I need you to do that for me this round, okay? Look, feint him, walk around. Use the jab, feint. Walk around. Every now and then you shoot that right.
Okay, you have to just watch your hands. Left, right, left, right. That continue. You have to watch the hand rotation, and also just and a body punching has to be very more active, especially.
You can knock him out. Okay. Hey, use that.
Here is that vicious exchange early in the round. It always leaves the question of, if one guy's punching hard but the other guy has a great chin, how do you know who's hardest?
Well, I think that Sim seems to be about a bigger puncher. And the difference between Sim and Teddy Reed is that Reed was shooting wide, lunging punches, very little defense. This guy, Lavka Sim, keeps his hands tight, pretty good defense, and his punches are very short and accurate.
You heard Ronnie Shields asking Juan Diaz to take around, to use the jab and move around and box a little bit more. I don't think Shields liked seeing Diaz getting painted with 32 power punches in that last round. Emmanuel.
If I was in the corner with Diaz, even though he's winning, I would be a nervous wreck because it doesn't look that great for him going down the stretch. It looks like it's going to be a nightmare, providing he doesn't get a knockout.
Well, as Larry Merchant pointed out at the beginning of the fight, he is a 20-year-old going against a 32-year-old going against a man with a man's strength, and Lavka Sim is all of that. Emmanuel, a viewer asks, looking at Diaz landing all these punches without really hurting Sim, is there something he could do to improve his punching power?
Well, I'd have to train him because the main thing, you have to have your hands tight at the end of your punches. That's one of the key things. But in this case here, I would say we'll work on that later. I would do just what Ronnie says and tell him to get out and try to box this round. Because I can see that even though he's winning, this guy's getting closer and closer and closer with those short power punches.
Yeah, but you know, I counted in the first minute of the fight about 15 punches to 1 for Diaz. All clean punches. So I don't think Lavka Sim is too comfortable in there either.
No, I don't think he's ever been in this type of a situation either. Because he's got a real young fire plug that's throwing a lot of punches, and he's punching pretty accurate and powerful himself.
And of course, Sim is so strong that it's not an accurate reflection of how hard Diaz might punch someday to measure it against this fella.
This is one of the toughest guys, probably physically, that Diaz may fight in his entire career.
Diaz shows some real skill in the infighting there, Emmanuel, in the way he bought some time for about 10 or 12 seconds without tying Lavka up.
It was very smart fighting, and don't forget he had a brilliant amateur career, just barely missed making the Olympic team because of it being underage. So his foundation is very solid.
Diaz having a little energy spurt down the stretch here. Seems to regain some of the initiative as he outlands Sim down the stretch of that round.
That was a very big round for Diaz.
That's what I need, baby. That's exactly what I need, okay? That's exactly what I need. Okay? Give me some water. Give me some more water.
September 18, HBO pay-per-view brings you one of the biggest fights in recent memory when undisputed middleweight champion Bernard Hopkins puts his title belts on the line against the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya. It's the biggest challenge of De La Hoya's career, with the undisputed middleweight championship at stake, a championship which has held for a decade.
Start your uppercuts now, okay? Okay? Start your uppercuts for me, okay? I need you to get your uppercuts.
You have to watch him. He's getting tired now. You have to catch that moment. Don't lose the moment.
No matter what language they use, trainers always lie to their fighters about how the other fighter looks.
A good trainer can lie in several languages, right? In that last round, Diaz landed 13 jabs by CompuBox count, the most of any round. The first time in the fight that he's landed in double figures with the jab. And he fires another perfectly thrown jab there, right onto the face of Lavka Sim.
It's one thing for Sims to have fought a boxer somewhere along the way, but when do you fight a boxer who's going to do that?
It's unbelievable the combinations that he's doing. He's punching straight punches, combinations to the body, to the head. Diaz is doing everything tonight.
Well, in the last round, I thought he regained the initiative by using his feet.
Yeah, once he did that, it seemed like Sim seemed to lose his momentum for a while. His rhythm, and then at the end, it got a little close, but movement kind of throws him off track a little bit.
I think the lesson of the fight so far is if Diaz moves, he has the advantage. If he stands still, he could get in trouble.
And the reason he has the advantage when he moves is that Sim has to be a little bit careful about coming in because he's walking into some vicious combinations
that he's not used to walking into.
Right.
And also, Diaz seems to consist what punch to throw at certain times. Even though Sim has his hands up tight, you know, Diaz seems to feel I can get away with an uppercut, I can shoot a left hook, but he does it automatically.
Look how well Diaz follows instruction. Ronnie Shields asked him to feint, move, and jab. He's doing it with textbook skill in this round.
Yes, and he's been able to land punches between the tight defense of Lavka, which is very interesting, especially for a young fighter.
And the feints are freezing Sim and setting up combination opportunities for Diaz. Most of Sim's punches in this round blocked by Diaz with his gloves.
But Diaz has been hit with enough shots in this fight that I would actually label him as being able to take a good punch.
Oh, he's been rocked. Good uppercut by Diaz.
The stoic face of Lavka Sim is beginning to show welts, bruises. He is human.
Indeed. Diaz is making that face lumpy, trying to paint a picture which will influence the judges in his favor.
I know when he's definitely influenced me tonight.
Tremendous round for Juan Diaz, who blunted Sim's offense with his movement.
And
again.
And Sim tapped him on the shoulder at the end of the round as if to say, "You're pretty good."
Yeah, you know, and Diaz has kept his composure all the time, too.
You can do anything you want to do with this guy now. You understand? Look, when you in close, just make sure your hands high. Give me some head movement in there. Come up with your uppercuts, and then look, you got to step around, okay? Now look, he don't like it when you're going to the right. Every time you go, keep shooting the uppercut. But start coming back with the hook in the right hand now. Okay, now listen. But I want you to keep...
Sim finally gets Diaz cornered. And look what he has to pay to get him when he gets there. What's the point of going into your opponent, chasing him down, but then you walk into this kind of stuff?
Go, Joe!
Like a lion chases the rhinoceros, and the rhinoceros turns around and whacks him.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 5 rounds to 1. 59-55 Juan Diaz. Jim, and I tell you, we always talk about ring generalship as part of scoring. This is beautiful ring generalship by Juan Diaz. I mean, he's moving around, setting up Lavka Sim for those shots, and landing tremendous combinations, great hand speed. I got to tell you something, Jim. You talked about Joe Goosen. Juan Diaz is a product of one of the great trainers in the game, Willie Savannah.
And also, Ronnie Shields also, who also was trained by Willie himself. Ronnie Shields was a fantastic amateur fighter, though. Probably one of the most beautiful amateur fighters I've ever seen in my entire life.
Twice fought for championships as a pro, wasn't quite able to get them. Has been a terrific trainer, often in difficult circumstances. If Juan Diaz wins tonight, it'll be the 13th to 14th champion with whom Ronnie Shields has been involved as a trainer. Titleist. Another combination to the body by Juan Diaz. Another 3-punch combination ending up upstairs.
You know, Diaz has had some problems with his hands in the past. You can see why if he lands in so many punches on this hard man, whether he might have some problems.
And that's what he's in there against a man, too.
In rounds 3 and 4, Lavka Sim successfully got Juan Diaz to stand still several times and landed shots which placed Diaz's future in the fight momentarily in doubt. But in the 5th round, Diaz began to move his feet again, and since that time has been thoroughly in command of Lavka Sim.
Well, it shows you that Diaz has the intelligence to go along with his fiery style. It's a rare combination.
and the speed and the energy and the desire and the commitment to work hard. He's got a lot. Two good left hands to the body inside by Diaz. And Sim is slowing down just a little bit. His shots don't have nearly as much vinegar as they did in the third and fourth round.
I don't think he's ready for this pace. And he usually the guy who applies the pressure, and other guys just dance from him, and he gradually wears them down. He's not used to anyone challenging him with the intensity the way Diaz is challenging him.
Sim tries to feint Diaz, and Diaz just busts him in the head with the left hook. And they nod at each other again in competitive appreciation at the end of 7.
Pull those pants out, John Wayne.
But he's getting tired, so you know you have to don't make any pause. Just punch and punch, and don't give any time to rest. Just look and look at the point and punch. That will give him something. You know, you have more experience, so you don't have to be in a hurry. Just wait, let him punch. That's not the important thing.
Punch. Go. Keep pressuring.
Here is an abbreviated version of this fight. This has been going on for 7 rounds.
Okay.
Eighth round of the scheduled 12. Juan Diaz in the light blue trunks. Lavka Sim of Mongolia in the white with blue trim. Sim, as rugged as his Mongolian origins would suggest to you, Diaz has been spectacular. His speed, energy, will, hard punching.
Diaz seemed to be really enjoying himself. You know, some guys like to bang. He seems to enjoy sitting down and just punching now where he could probably box. But I think he feels very comfortable in it with what he's doing.
Punches were short. Diaz right on the button with the left and the right.
You better keep that left hand up close to his face, though. Watch for that short, sneaky right hand that comes.
Done very well at that so far.
Yeah.
He's done a tremendous job blocking and parrying Sim's punches inside.
It's an awesome performance tonight.
Each passing round, Sim looks just a little less dangerous, and Diaz looks safer and safer. And the safer he looks, the more he looks like a winner because he's still faster, he's more resourceful, he's landing more punches.
Just a question of whether his stamina holds up through 4 or 5 more rounds of this.
That's what I was worried about, Larry. But what I can see, I believe he's going to be okay. He seems to be in great shape, very comfortable with the situation, whereas Citron was a little bit more uncomfortable, a little bit more nervous, even though he's winning. I think that's because of the lack of experience, not having many amateur fights.
Citron, I think the tears after showed you how relieved he was. He seemed nervous all the way through the fight.
And Diaz is like, it's like he was born to be a fighter. He's very comfortable with everything he's doing.
Lavka Sim is doing some good work inside here in this round. He may have won this round.
These two guys respect each other.
Okay, baby, we got 4 rounds. We're world champion, you understand? 4 4 rounds and you're world champion. Now listen to me.
The next installment of Real Sports premieres this Tuesday night. Among the stories, Bryant Gumbel goes to Japan to see how a failed NFL lineman named Bob Sapp has become a K1 fighting sensation and one of the biggest stars in Japan.
This guy, all he's trying to do is just out-hustle you now, okay? All right? Yeah. Now listen to me. I need you to use that jab for me now, okay? The jab is going to win the fight for you. Look, and I need right hand. Straight right hand.
So
use the jab, and straight right hand. Okay, then step around. I don't want you inside.
You have to be more aggressive. So be close and give a close jab and more power now. You need nothing else. Then you will win.
Keep going forward. Keep going.
Lavka Sim's punch output had been dropping in that round. However, he threw 71 punches, the most he's thrown since round number 4. So Sim seems to be feeling a sense of urgency now as we reach round 9. And Diaz gets back on his movement trip, trying to fulfill Ronnie Shields' demand that he use his feet and move to reestablish his dominance in the fight. When his feet are moving, his hands come free and land in combination.
He's trying a tremendous fight. And Sims is coming to him all the time. In this round particular, he came out with a lot of urgency because he realized that he's losing the fight and he's putting a lot of pressure, but Diaz meets him halfway
and beats him to the punch.
And his punches are graphic. That is to say, you could see him in the last row of the arena. So surely the judges at ringside can see them.
Two extremely willing fighters. 4th round of this fight is one of the best rounds we've seen in a long time. Diaz's face relatively unmarked in comparison with that of Sim. That will help with the judges as well.
Break! Step back. Box! Break!
Trying to think of recent fighters who've won world titles as early in age as Juan Diaz. Mike Tyson has won way back in 1988.
This is one of the toughest fights that I saw a young fighter have, especially to be winning a title.
Fernando Vargas won a world title very early in his career. Now here comes Diaz at 20, trying to take Sim's title belt.
But this is one of the roughest championship fights I've ever saw a young kid have. He's winning the fight big, but this guy's challenging him all the way with short, accurate power punches and relentless.
Listen, baby. You want to be world champion, right? Yeah. This is your championship round. Give me the water. This is the championship rounds right here, son. This is where it counts right here. You understand me? This is it, baby. This is the 10, 11, and 12. That's it. Okay? Now listen. All this guy doing is just try to get you to keep throwing fast punches, okay? I don't need that. Listen to me. When you're punching with him now, look, I don't want you punching with him. I want you holding him now. You understand that? But look, don't let him wrestle you, okay? Stand firm when you're holding him, okay? Pick the leg up. Okay?
I think now everything is going just perfect. Now only thing is you have to attack and don't give him any distance. The distance is an advantage for him. So just press him, push him, and try to keep the distance as close as possible.
Attempting to crank up the pressure, Lavka Sim threw 82 punches in the last round, the most he's thrown in any round of the fight. Now he continues to try to stalk and come in on Diaz, and Diaz tries to continue using his feet and his combination punching to fend Sim off.
Boy, and he's walked into Sim probably has to score at least a knockdown to get close to the scoring. And that might not be enough.
No, I don't think Diaz is not going to be denied tonight. I don't think it's nothing that's going to, cause him to lose this fight. I hate to say it. Seems like he have his mind made up, and he takes a good punch. And his stamina, which has really amazed me for a young fighter.
Another one of those body-to-head left hook combinations by Diaz. He's landed a large number of those. He's landed his jab. He's landed a lot of 1-2s with the right cross, and he's done extremely well with the uppercut, as he did right there.
He's putting together a tremendous amount of punches, and especially when you look at the tight defense that Sim has, and he's been able to find ways to penetrate as if Sim had his hands down almost.
Sometimes youth is better than experience.
How long a career can a fighter like Diaz have fighting in a 135-pound weight class with this physically taxing style?
These type fights takes a lot out of him. If he keeps fighting like this year, all of his fights, it's very difficult to go over 5 or 6 years and do it on top of this pace, But, hopefully you don't have to fight this type of guy. This is a very unusual opponent right here with Sims. One of the toughest guys I've ever saw, and also a dangerous fighter.
Yeah, some of Diaz's opponents are going to seem like a vacation after this kind of rough war against Lavka Sim.
In fact, he may go on a knockout streak for his next 10 fights possibly after fighting Sim.
Win a few more fights, graduate law school. That's good.
He's an amazing guy, he's going to school to be a carpenter and training, and will be probably tonight the lightweight champion of the world.
3.8 average in high school. Good grade point average in government at the University of Houston downtown campus.
And
hoping to go to law school. Yeah. Hoping to be a world championship boxer too. As crowd-pleasing a fighter as you'll find in the sport, with the sole possible exception of the guy you're going to watch next Saturday night.
No disrespect for Gaddy, but I don't think Gaddy would want to have nothing to do with this guy, even though he's under 35 pounds.
Who would?
Now listen, I need you to stay close to him now, okay? Yeah. No more backing out. This is what we've trained for. These last championship rounds, now you got to be the new champion right here. Okay. Look, do not let this man out hustle you now, okay? Look, keep digging that body and keep shooting your uppercuts, okay? I want you digging punches. Forget the fast punches. Yeah. I want hard shots to the body and hard shots uppercuts. Okay? That's what I need. Okay? I need the hands high. Give me some of the slight head moving the inside, but stay close to it.
Here's another left hook. Around the glove of Lavka Sim, perfectly placed.
Yeah,
Sim had his hands where you tell him to have his hands.
That's what it's so amazing. He finds a way to get punches through, even with his hands up.
Jim, you mentioned about his 3.8 average in high school. He says his brother, who is an undefeated featherweight prospect, had a 4.0, straight A.
That's Diaz. And Harold, how do you have it through 10?
Okay, Jim. 8 rounds to 2. 98, 92, Juan Diaz. Jim, I don't know. The only rounds that I could see Lavka Sim winning were rounds 4 and 8. Other than that, Juan Diaz just too much ring generalship, too many great punches, great combinations, tremendous hand speed, good defense. Real tight, like Emmanuel said. This kid is tremendous for a 20-year-old.
Ducked a right hand, hits Sim with a huge left hook. You heard Ronnie Shields asking Juan Diaz, Emmanuel, not to go with the fast punches in the last 2 rounds, but come out and hit him hard.
The pedigree in him won't let him do it. He's going to fight his fight. He enjoys actually fighting. Now, even when he has to stand toe-to-toe, he seems to enjoy it. You know, instead of saying, well, this guy's strong, I'm going to hit on points, I can box, take it easy, stay out of the way. That's just not him.
Yeah, but look how well he takes care of himself inside.
Yes, he angles himself very good so that he won't get hit with the right uppercut. And he's been a very active fighter, too. And that's why I always go by the activity level. You know, he moved right from his amateur career right into his professional career and has never had a lapse in between.
You know, we don't recognize him as the world champion, although he has a chance to win a title. There have been a couple of other well-known lightweight champions who came from Texas. Juan came from here in Houston. And Lou Jenkins back in the 30s and 40s, a legendary character.
Well, I remember Joe Brown. He was a very, very good fighter. Very good veteran. Old Bones is his nickname, I think they used to call him.
Lou Jenkins was an astonishing puncher before he got himself into the bottle and squandered his talent. Later became a decorated war hero in Korea. But the focus here is on young Juan Diaz. 45 seconds to go in the 11th round of what has been a brilliant performance. Stealing the show on a night when two of his main event stablemates, Kermit Cintron and Rocky Juarez, have already gotten the wins against good fighters that their promoters were hoping for.
Oh.
Low blow.
That was a deliberate low blow because Sim thought that he had been hit low.
And rather than to take the rest that might have been coming to him, Diaz just shook his head and said, I'll go right back in. Sim trying to pull Diaz toward the ropes, and Juan will have no part of it. Steps around, finds punching room again. Time!
Okay. So that is now the... Now you have to finish it.
Now, Elon.
Whatever you have, whatever the strength, whatever the power, that's the last ring. So you have to fight.
And right hand. Well, look, I don't want no amateur punching, okay? I want you to keep the hands high and keep punching from here, okay?
Unbelievable.
I got you, baby. I got you. All right? Three minutes, baby. 3 minutes. That's it.
Low and tight. Don't get out.
We got the mouthpiece. What a mouthpiece? I need the mouthpiece.
Okay, no chance for one.
Here we go. Last round on. Okay. Sorry, I gotta go.
I think that Diaz is less excited than Ronnie Shields.
Yeah. Diaz is just as cool. It's just like he's playing a game on the playground or something.
He'll be 21 on September 17. 2 months from now. Right now, he's on the verge of winning a world title belt. Young Juan Diaz. Yet another big rally.
I'll tell you what, I still would want to have a fighter man fight this Lavka Sim. He's a tough man.
He's incredible.
Tough man with short, dangerous punches, too.
Crowd chanting for Juan Diaz, trying to bring him home in this extremely difficult 12-round fight. Well, we've seen some leather tonight on Boxing After Dark. One of the most action-filled 3-fight cards we've ever programmed on the air. All 3 fights have seen tremendous competition.
Well, we haven't even talked about Diaz's chin. He may have a hell of a chin.
I believe he's got a great chin. I'm sure he'll get hit enough tonight to convince me anyway. But both guys have good chins.
He's trying to close the show like a champ.
Well, I say when you fight for the championship, you take the championship from the champion. You don't try to win it from him, and that's what he's did tonight.
see how he responds to the swelling chants of the crowd.
And I tell you what, he's glad that it's a 12-rounder and not a 15-rounder.
Down the stretch of his first championship fight.
That's about, what, the second time all night the referee had to break him?
Yeah, very seldom. Lawrence Cole never had to do too much tonight at all.
You're witnessing the arrival of a star at an exceptionally early age. 20-year-old Juan Diaz of Houston, fulfilling the prophecy of those in this community who've been saying ever since age 16 he'd win a world title. Coming in with extreme resolution against a very difficult opponent, Lavka Sim. It's been a physical war for 12 full rounds.
Lavka Sim didn't lose that fight. The other guy just took it.
Ronnie Shields holding his fighter aloft in tremendous excitement for what Diaz accomplished, busting up the face of Lavka Sim over the course of 12 grueling and brutal rounds. Harold, how'd you score it?
Okay, Jim, 9 rounds to 3, 117, 111, Juan Diaz. And Jim, I think we've said it all. Tremendous performance by a 20-year-old kid.
The man in the tan cap hugging Juan Diaz is Willie Savannah.
Hey, I need some water.
The man under whom Diaz began his amateur career. Savannah, who years ago trained young Ronnie Shields as an amateur, now watches over Shields as he trains his new protege. Juan already has the judges' card, so let's go up for the decision in this title fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in Houston, Texas, after 12 great championship rounds, a round of applause for these two lightweights in the ring here tonight. We go to the judges' scorecards. Ray Hawkins scores 118 to 110. Dwayne Ford 116 to 112. Marcos Torres 118 to 111. All to the winner by unanimous decision from Houston, Texas, the new WBA lightweight champion of the world, Juan, the baby boy.